Hey crafty friends, it's Christina here with you today from Close to My Heart. Today I am sharing this adorable festive treat holder. You can put a gift card, or it also is perfect for a Ghirardelli square in it. And it's all made out of a standard A2 envelope, so super fun, super easy to do. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, you're just going to need a standard A2 envelope. Which measures the 4 3/8 wide and then 5 3/4 long. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to fold that in half. And if you have a bone folder, you can use that to get a nice crisp fold, or you can just do it with your fingers. You're going to go ahead and you're going to open that up, and you're going to cut along that line that you've just created, that halfway mark. And what I've done, if you look at my sample here, is I actually mitered the edges, and that just means to take out a slight sliver, like kind of a triangle. It kind of gives it a more uniform look. I did on both sides, and it also makes for a smoother fold when you go ahead and fold it closed. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that here as well. And there's no right exact measurement or anything. It's just going ahead and just kind of doing an angled cut from the one point to the other. So I've got the one side done. Then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and seal this left-hand side. You can go ahead and you can just lick that adhesive that's already on there, or you can just go ahead and use just a little bit of your own adhesive just to seal that closed. Just because we're not going to do anything with that portion. The only portion we really are concerned about is this portion here. And then if you want to, I did it just as a slight little subtle thing, is I took a circle punch, and you can use any size circle punch. I happen to have a 1 3/4 inch one, and what I did is I actually tucked that in there, and I slid that in as far as you can get it, just so you've got a little bit of a circle space. And then it just, what it does, it just kind of creates a little lip there that makes it easy for the recipient to see that they're going to pull something out of that pouch. So that's an extra added touch you could do if you'd like. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to need either some ribbon or some thin, twine. Sorry, I can't think of the word. So this is our mink twine, and what you're going to do is you're going to want to go ahead and have it center that around your envelope like that, so it's about equal, the two ends. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to basically sandwich that between the paper that we're using for decoration and the envelope, and that'll hold it together so you don't lose the string when you untie your pouch. So then what we're going to need is, I've decorated both the front and the back so that it's a nice, consistent, complete project. So you could just do the front if you wanted, or you could do it as I'm doing it. If you do it as I've done, I have two pieces that I've used black cardstock, and these ones measure 4 1/8 inches high and then 2 5/8 inches wide. And that's so that I just have a very slight border, so that the pattern paper I'm using can be 4 inches high by 2.5 inches wide. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and adhere those to the center of the black cardstock with your adhesive. And you'll see it just leaves a very slight border around the edges. Makes it pop just a little bit more. That's one. Second one. Okay, so then I went ahead and I just glued these to the front and back of my envelope. Again, making sure to kind of keep that twine or that ribbon that you're using so that it's kind of centered on your envelope, so that when you have that all done, that's where it stays. It's not moving around towards the base of the envelope or anything like that. And I just centered it so it leaves a nice white border around the edges. Helps kind of make those points out as the white points out as pop. And you can still kind of move around your twine or your ribbon because you only have the one side on there. So go ahead and fix that as you want it to be. And then you're going to go ahead and flip it over so that you can do the back side. Again, pulling those off to the side to ensure that you've got a nice tight, that your ribbon or twine is tightly pulled over so that you don't have any bulges. Adjust it as desired. So now you have that base part of your pouch all created. So then what I've done is I've cut out some more pieces of black and the white It's always good to just kind of have some layering. Layering is a simple way to add some visual interest to your project. And so I've just done a couple more layering pieces here behind the Santa. And so this piece, my other black piece, measures 3 3/8 inches high by 2 1/8 inch wide. And then I took our white daisy and I embossed it with our new cascading dots. You'll see it kind of has more dots up to the top and it gets less and less as it goes down. And this piece here measures 3 1/4 inch high by 2 inches wide. I'm going to go ahead and just adhere this to the center of the black cardstock. And then what I'm going to do is, because I want it to just pop just a little bit more, is I'm going to actually use some 3D foam to attach it to the front there. And you could just glue it down as it is if you'd like. But I just thought it'd be nice to have a little extra lift to it. So for the next part, our Santa, you're going to see that I am actually going to be taking our garden gnome stamp set and transforming it into a more festive holiday Santa here. So here's the stamp set that I'm using. This is our garden gnomes. And you can see I'm using this actual gnome right here. All of the ones that are shaded in blue, those are ones, they come with coordinating dies. And so I have stamped him and cut him out. And then I'm going to just do a couple of alterations to make it look more like a Santa. So you'll see here, let me get this all the way. Okay, so I've started to color it just a little bit, but I didn't want to go too far because I wanted you to be able to see how I transformed it. So I'm going to take our journaling pen. This is our 0.05 black journaling pen. And I'm going to create a rim to his cap here, but just by creating a line that is just a little bit higher than his nose there. And that I can leave white then, and the rest will be red. And you'll see here that I'm going to add a little white gem to kind of be like the little pom-pom on the end of his hat. I'm also going to add kind of a belt here on his outfit here. It's a dashed line, but I'm going to go ahead and smooth that out. And then I'm just going to draw another one just slightly above that, just so it kind of creates a little bit of a belt. And then what I'll do is I will go ahead and color it in, just as I have here, where I've added some of the green from the poinsettia paper here for the belt, and then I've added in the red for his hat and his jacket there. And then I've just left these little triangle parts, these decorative pieces to his jacket white. But I'm going to go ahead and put that aside for right now so that we can continue putting it together. And we'll work on the inside now. So because it can get kind of bulky on the inside if you're putting a Ghirardelli square in here, like I have in my sample, we're not going to add a lot of layers to the inside. If you were to do a gift card instead, like when I show you here, I have a gift card, that one would be a lot flatter. So if you wanted to add some more details in here, you certainly could. But we're going to keep it pretty simple so that way we can put a Ghirardelli square in there. And so what I've done is I have taken our new stitched hexagons dies, and I've taken the third largest one, the middle size basically, and I've cut out this red pattern paper, and then I've taken the second smallest size, and that's what I've done for the stamping, the Hello Friend. So I'm going to pull those here. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to, actually, before I glue it on here, I do have this small strip of our black shimmer trim. So I'm going to take a 2.5 inch piece of our shimmer trim, and this does have adhesive backing on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and push that down so it flips up that clear backing. Get rid of that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that right across the center here. And it's going to go off the edge a little bit, and that's fine because we're going to just go ahead and trim that up. So if you have a pair of non-stick scissors, that's perfect because then you won't have any issues trimming off this sticky shimmer trim. Just like that. Okay, so now that I've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere the Hello Friend sentiment. So it's centered right there. It goes right across that shimmer trim. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to adhere it onto our flap. So we're not going to put adhesive on the whole thing because we're not adhering it all the way down, and that way it would actually seal it closed. So I'd recommend that you put your adhesive on your flap and then go ahead and using where that adhesive is, that's where you're going to go ahead and put down that element so that you've got that decorative touch to it. All right, and the final touch, if you want, you can actually wrap, if you're going to put a Ghirardelli square in there, you could wrap some pattern paper around it. And this is actually a 1 3/4 inch wide by 4 3/4 inch long piece that I just wrapped around, and it's not adhered to the candy, it's just adhered to itself. So that way it just kind of ties it all in. It's a little bit more of a decorative touch. You can go ahead and stick that in there. And then the final thing I did after I finished coloring my Santa is I just adhered him down and then added one of our white enamel dots. And so that's all there is. If you wanted to add one final detail, you'll notice here in my sample, since I did not add any pattern paper, I wanted to add in something else. And so since I have that stitching here with the hexagon, I thought I would just do some faux stitching with my journaling pen. So just using that same journaling pen that I did for the lines on the Santa, I just went around and did some dashes to create that. So super simple, can be decorated any way you want, fun and easy. Hope you've enjoyed it. Stay crafty.